episode of Always Up to Date. My name is Denise and this is Yahweh, and we are co-owners of Always Bookkeeping. Today on our video we're going to talking about making a schedule and why you should make a schedule. As you know, if you've watched our videos before, we always do a quote and a statistic and a little story. And so our quote today is from Benjamin Franklin, who you should know is one of the founding fathers of the United States. So he said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. The statistic is from Industry Canada, and it says that 15% of businesses fail in year 1, 30% fail by year 2, and 50% fail by year 5. So, you know, you start the day fresh on Monday morning with your to-do list and you're ready to conquer the small business world, and you get into work and all these things start to happen, and by Saturday you sit down to reflect on the week and you look at your to-do list and you realize that you really didn't get anything done that was on your to-do list. And if you did, it was the things that were the least important that needed to get done. Those things that were most important didn't get done. Maybe things that just seemed like they were really important at the time took up all your week to get done, and you just didn't get what needed to be done.
Mm-hmm. So I have a few questions that you want to ask about making a schedule. So first one is, what is the difference between a schedule and a to-do list?
Right. So it seems like pretty straightforward, but a schedule, of course, is basically a calendar with your time that you're working and what you're going to do in those periods of time. A to-do list is writing down everything you need to do and trying to get it done. I don't know about you, but I've done to-do lists before where when I got something done, I wrote it on my to-do list and scratched it off so it looked like I did stuff. But really, my to-do list never gets done. It's always ongoing, and I don't know anybody that can use a to-do list and actually get it done.
Yeah. How often should you schedule?
So you should schedule every day. Usually you schedule, we're talking about work specifically, so you want to schedule whatever time you work in the morning. If you start at 8, if you start at 5, if you start at 10, whatever time you start, you want to block off time for every activity that you need to do during the day.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important that you think about the stuff that you're doing routinely, so that you'd be able to, maybe you don't have to make a schedule for every day for the rest of your life. Like, what I mean by that is that you have a different item on your task for every day. Most of this stuff are going to be repetitive, so I would look at time periods on how it repeats. For example, is that if you do something at the 3rd of the month every month, or if you do something different every second Wednesday, then I would think about the stuff when I'm making my schedule. So maybe then I can repeat the same schedule for the next month, or I can repeat the same schedule in the next 2 weeks, and so stuff like that. That would make it easier for you to schedule.
That's right. Yeah. Some people schedule daily, some people weekly. We do it monthly. We have a 4-week block, and we all know what's going on in those 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What should your schedule look like?
Yeah, so it varies so much, and you can take that to-do list and put it onto your schedule. Just schedule those things in. We like to block in 2-hour increments. 1 hour doesn't seem enough to do things. 2 hours seems a little bit better. You might have to, depending on what business you do. I know a lot of construction people. You might want to book going to your suppliers in like early morning, so that you're the first one there. We've talked to construction workers that they like to be at the Home Depot or wherever it is that you're going to get your supplies 7 o'clock in the morning, because they know that any later than that, and they're going to be farther down the queue to get their stuff. So then they spend the whole morning waiting for their supplies for the site that they need to work on that day. So not only are they wasting their time, but they're wasting their employees' time because they don't have the supplies they need to do their job. So again, your schedule is going to look however you need it to look for your business. So it's a little bit different here and there. Yeah.
And I think it helps as well to kind of list off the or the major activities that you do for your business. For example, your admin time, your payroll time, your suppliers time, like Denise said, and then start to fill them up in your schedule as opposed to just jumping from one to another every time you have the chance to do so, because chances are you're going to forget something, right?
Yeah. Lots of people forget to put in things like, blocking out a couple of hours to do quotes. You go and meet with a client and then you never have time to do the quote. And so then by the time you get around to the quote, they've probably gone to somebody else to get it, who's going to get it done for them.
Yeah.
If you have construction and you never have time to go see your sites, you never know what your employees are doing. Are they doing it right? And if you're somebody like an electrician, that all of the wiring goes, and then once the drywall is up, if you've never gone to that site because you just didn't have time, you didn't put it in your schedule, you're never going to know, and it's going to make a big mess afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, going back to the to-do list, if it's in your schedule and you schedule the time to do it, it's more likely that you're going to get it done. What should you schedule in the morning?
Yeah, so in the morning it's probably better to do those sort of the concentrated work that needs to be done. So working on your own, doing the like getting a project ready, getting like we do our bookkeeping in the morning, so we're concentrating on it. If we have questions that we need to ask somebody else on the team, we kind of batch those and we wait until the afternoon. If we need to work on a file with somebody else, we do that stuff in the afternoon. So again, like we talked about as well, if maybe you need to go to your supplier first thing in the morning, if you're construction, that's probably a good time to go to your job site and see what your employees are doing. I would recommend too, if you have more than one job site, sort of alternating them so that your employees don't know that you're coming. Okay, we know he's coming Monday morning, Monday morning at 9 o'clock, he's going to show up, so we better be here. And you kind of have a little better grasp on what's actually going on.
I always think of it as schedule everything that are gonna take a lot of brain and effort in the morning, because that's when you're at your best.
Yeah,
because
right.
we kind of we get weak in the afternoon, or we get slower towards the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah, because we get exhausted, right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
What should you schedule in the afternoon then?
Yeah, so in the afternoon, for us, that's when we do like our client meetings, do collaborative work that we need to do with our team members. Again, just like Yahweh said, in the morning you're more apt to be able to just concentrate more and do that work. And in the morning too, you can get ready for that afternoon meeting if that's what you have, or just things that are not quite as hard on your brain, I guess. You still need to think about it, you still need to do it, but it's just a little bit easier to do in the afternoon.
A little less taxing.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you need to schedule a lunch break?
Yeah, I think you do. It's so easy to get working on your task and just work through your lunch break. And especially small business owners are known for that. I'll just eat later, or I'll grab a bite along the way, or whatever.
Eat through your work, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's so important for us to be able to just take that break and go have something to eat, just maybe go for a little walk, or whatever, just to kind of let your brain rest a little bit. And, you know, then you're not coming home at the end of the night and you're angry and grouchy and tired and you don't know why. And it's because you haven't eaten all day. You know, your body needs that fuel to keep you going.
Does every day need to look the same?
Yeah, we kind of touched on that a little bit, but not every day is the same. You might need to schedule client meetings one day, the marketing someday. You need to take some time out for your bookkeeping maybe. Maybe you have some customers that you need to see, that maybe you have a networking meeting that you go to. Again, maybe, you know, this week is going to look different than next week. Maybe there's something that you only need to do every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So it really depends on, I guess, how routine your work is. Yeah. For it to look the same.
That's right. Yeah.
Do I need to schedule staff meetings?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something else that small business owners often do, is they don't schedule a staff meeting. They just I'll just, especially when you don't have very many staff, you just think I'll just talk to them when when I'm talking to them, I'll remember to tell them this. But often you don't remember to tell them, and I think a lot of times employees and employers get into a little bit of a problem when there isn't any communication. I think a staff meeting is really important for communication. It doesn't have to be hours long. Sometimes we've had staff meetings that are only half an hour.
Yeah.
It's just that big thing is communication, and I think your employees work better when they're communicated to and they're part of the team. They feel like they're part of the team and they know what's going on. And again, staff meetings, depending on how big of a firm you have, how big of a company you have, you could do them monthly or bi-weekly. We do ours weekly, just so that the staff all know where we're at. There isn't any questioning what's going on. We're very open with them and just let them know this is how it is. Because
at the end of the day, the relationship you have with your employees is it's going to affect how they're going to work for the company and how they're going to make money for you. So I think it's very important, and some of us leave, or if we have been employed before, we leave and we always say we're going to create new cultures. We can't create new cultures and build our company's culture if we don't meet with our employees.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think it's a time for employees too to maybe voice concerns or give ideas or whatever. Yeah, that's good.
What if my schedule doesn't work for me?
Yeah, so it's okay to stray from your schedule occasionally. Sometimes emergencies come up, something comes up that you just can't put into a schedule somewhere else. You have to deal with it right away. That's okay occasionally. If that's happening all the time, your schedule isn't right and you need to redo it, which is okay. It may take you 3 or 4 times to get your schedule right. I know we've had to kind of tweak ours a little bit. We try it, doesn't work this way. We're running into these issues or whatever, and so we just have to tweak it and try to make it work a little better. But that's totally okay. That's with everything that we do. We have to kind of do that. Try it out and see if it works. If it doesn't work, just try something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's another advantage of having an actual schedule. If something doesn't work, then you can plan ahead because you already know what you're supposed to do in the future because you put it on your schedule.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that you could adjust here and there to fit whatever you weren't able to do. Again, that's the beauty of having a schedule. It makes it organized for you to do your to-do list, your checklist, or anything that needs to get done for your business.
That's right.
I think that's all the questions we have for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If so, please like and subscribe to our page. If you have any comments, please feel free to comment down below. And we'll see you guys next time on our next episode. Thanks so much. Bye.